Hello all, my name is Shiva. Welcome to NTR Educational Institutions and Excel Civils Academy. Today we discuss about monetary policy and its importance in the Indian economy. Let us start with what is monetary policy. It is a policy formulated by RBI to control money supply in the economy, thereby to maintain the price stability of the goods and services. So simply, monetary policy is a policy which is formulated by RBI to control money supply in the economy in order to control prices of goods and services. Generally, we know that sometimes the prices in the economy increases, whereas sometimes the prices in the economy decreases. Whenever the prices in the economy increases, which hurt the people as they are unable to buy their goods at very high price level. Whereas when the prices decreases in the economy, which hurts the lots of producers as they are unable to get that much of profit as like earlier. Therefore, it is very important to maintain the price stability in the economy in order to protect public as well as Indian economy. So that RBI is controlling money supply in the economy in order to control prices of goods and services. For that, it is making a policy that is called monetary policy. Let us understand here what is the relation between money supply and goods and services. Why RBI is controlling money supply in order to control or in order to maintain the price stability in the economy. So, and also let us see how the money circulates in the economy. Generally, we know that money circulates mainly between three people. Let us consider here entire public as a whole, banks and financial institutions, government or corporates. Generally, in our economy, money circulates between people to banks or financial institutions, banks to government or corporate institutions, and finally again government to public. In such way that the money circulating in the economy, whenever the money supply in the economy increases, which leads to excess money supply, and which creates excess demand, leads to inflation. When the money supply in the economy increases, which leads to excess money supply in the economy and which creates excess demand, leads to inflation. In that same manner, whenever there is less money circulation in the economy, which creates less demand and leads to deflation. Look at here, what is inflation? A sudden increase in the price level of goods and services is called inflation. Okay? Whereas, what is deflation? A sudden decrease in the price level of goods and services is called deflation. So, already we have discussed what are the problems associated with inflation and deflation. So, whenever we are getting inflation and deflation in the economy, which hurt the economy as well as so many people in the economy. So that it's very important to maintain the price stability of goods and services in the economy. For that, RBI is making this monetary policy. And how RBI could control money supply in the economy? So to control money supply in the economy, RBI using some monetary policy tools. Monetary policy tools or instruments. By using these monetary policy tools or instruments, RBI can control money supply in the economy. Let us see, so what are the monetary policy tools under monetary policy? These tools can be called as monetary policy instruments also. The first instrument under monetary policy is CRR and the second one is SLR. And the third one is LAF. Again, under LAF, there are two sub-tools or instruments. These are repo rate and reverse repo rate. Okay. And the fourth one is MSF, and the fifth one is bank rate. All these are called as monetary policy tools or else instruments. By using these instruments, RBI could control money supply in the economy as per time required or as per the time need. When there is inflation, RBI increases monetary policy tools. When there is deflation, RBI decreases these monetary policy tools in order to maintain the price stability of goods and services. Let us discuss each and every one. The first one is CRR. So how RBI can control money supply in the economy by using CRR instrument. Here CRR is defined as cash reserve ratio. Cash reserve ratio. It is defined as, it is some percentage of, CRR is defined as some percentage share of daily deposits of the banks, which banks are required to keep with RBI in the form of cash only. CRR is defined as, it is some percentage share on daily deposits of the banks, which banks are required to keep with RBI in the form of cash only. Let's say, for example, in a day, a bank received 100 rupees as its deposits. From this 100, as per CRR, banks are required to keep some certain percentage share of this 100 rupees with RBI. The current CRR is 3%, which means banks are required to keep 3 rupees with RBI when the bank received 100 rupees as deposits in a day. After keeping 3 rupees with RBI, the amount left with the bank is 97 rupees, and that is the amount the bank can lend into the economy, right? For example, there is inflation in the economy. In order to control this inflation, RBI increases CRR to, let's say, for example, 5%. Now, this bank is required to keep 5 rupees with RBI as per increased CRR, that is 5%. And now, what is the amount left with the bank? 95 rupees, and this is the amount the bank can lend into the economy. What we understand here, whenever RBI increases CRR limit, which decreases money supply into the economy, which leads to less demand, and less demand leads to, or else less demand can control the inflation. When RBI increases CRR, which decreases money supply in the economy. So when money supply in the economy decrease, which creates less demand, leads to, or which can control the inflation. So in such way, RBI using the CRR as a tool to control money supply in the economy in order to control the inflation. Let us take, for example, there is deflation in the economy. Deflation. What is deflation? A sudden decrease in the price level of goods and services is called deflation. Why we used to get deflation in the economy? Whenever there is less money circulation. Whenever there is less money circulation in the economy, which creates less demand and which leads to deflation. So what we have to do? We have to inject more money into the economy. The more money can create more demand, and which can control the deflation. So, okay, here RBI decreases the CRR in order to increase more money supply in the economy. So here RBI decreases CRR to 0%, for example. Not at all, there is no CRR limit is required to maintain by banks with RBI. So when CRR is 0, these banks can lend 100 rupees into economy, right? When the CRR is 0, the bank can lend their entire daily deposits into the economy, and more money circulate in the economy, which creates more demand, and which it can control the deflation. So in such way, RBI using the CRR as a tool to decrease money supply in the economy in order to control inflation and deflation. I hope you understand. So that is all about the CRR, but the present limit of CRR, the current CRR is 3%. Okay, and the next one, SLR, statutory liquidity ratio. Statutory liquidity ratio. So here, statutory liquidity ratio, it is same as CRR, but here the banks are required to maintain certain percentage share on their daily deposit with themselves. Okay, so let's say for example, a bank received 100 rupees as its deposits in a day. From that 100 rupees, the bank is required to keep certain percentage share with itself. So the current SLR is 18%. It means now this bank is required to keep 18 rupees with itself, and the remaining amount the bank can lend into the economy. Okay, when RBI increases the limit of SLR, so it leads to less money circulation in the economy, and less money circulation in the economy creates less demand, and inflation could be controlled by RBI. So it is a it's like a CRR. Here also same thing RBI is doing. It is increasing whenever there is inflation. It will decrease as SLR whenever there is deflation. So the current CRR is 18%. When there is inflation, maybe RBI can increase SLR to 20%. Now this bank is required to keep 20 rupees with itself, and it can lend only 80 rupees into the economy. So when RBI increases SLR, which creates less money circulation in the economy, and it can create less demand leads to can control the inflation. So when there is deflation, RBI decreases the SLR in order to float more money into the economy. When there is more money in the economy, which creates more demand, and more demand can control the deflations. So it is the objective behind both these CRR and SLR as monetary policy instruments to control money supply in the economy, by that to maintain the price stability or to control the inflation and deflation. So let us see the next tools. LAF, liquidity adjustment facility. Okay, liquidity adjustment facility. Liquidity is nothing but whatever the cash circulating in the economy is called liquidity. Liquidity adjustment facility. By name itself, we can say we can adjust the liquidity which is floating in the economy. So under this LAF, there are two tools. One is repo rate and second one is reverse repo rate. So repo rate, what is repo rate? It is defined as, it is an interest rate at which RBI can lend money to. It is an interest rate at which RBI lends money to banks. At which RBI lends money to banks. Okay. So it is an interest rate at which RBI lends money to banks. The current repo rate is 4.40%. The current repo rate is 4.40%. Or else banks can borrow money from RBI at an interest rate that is called repo rate. Banks can borrow money from RBI at an interest rate that is called repo rate. So whenever RBI increases this repo rate, let's say for example, RBI increases repo rate to 7%. So now banks can borrow money from RBI at 7% interest rate, but this interest rate is very high. So banks are doing just business. They cannot do business by borrowing money at very high rate of interest. So whenever RBI increases repo rate, there are two options to bank. Either to stop taking money from RBI, or else they are able to borrow even though the interest rate is high, but they cannot lend money to public at high interest rate. Public are not ready to borrow money from banks at very high interest rate to do business in the economy, right? So whenever RBI increases repo rate, banks are required to increase their interest rate to public. That is, we say here MCLR, marginal cost of fund based lending rate. So when RBI increases this repo rate, banks will stop to borrow money from the RBI, because as they unable to do business with high rate of interest in the economy, which leads to less money circulation in the economy, which creates less demand, inflation could be controlled. So that is the objective behind the repo rate. Present RBI using mainly repo rate as a monetary instrument to control money supply in the economy in order to control inflation and deflation. So that is the repo rate. Reverse repo rate. Reverse of the repo. Here banks are, it is reverse repo rate. It is an interest rate at which banks lend money to RBI, or else it is an interest rate at which RBI borrowing money from banks. Why RBI is borrowing money from bank? Even though it has the arbitrary authority to print currency in the economy, because RBI is responsible to control money supply in the economy. So that's why whenever there is a huge money circulation in the economy, to control that money supply, RBI is attracting banks lend towards RBI instead of lending money into the economy by offering some extra interest rates. The current reverse repo rate is 3.75. The current reverse repo rate is 3.75. Whenever there is huge amount of liquidity is circulating in the economy, RBI used to increase this reverse repo rate. When RBI itself is offering very high rate of interest to banks, if they lend money towards RBI, it is not possible to circulate more money into the economy, and simply banks are diverting towards RBI instead of lending money into the economy by offering a very good rate of interest rate to banks. So that is the objective behind the reverse repo rate. Okay. When there is inflation, simply RBI could offer more interest rate. Let's say for example 8%. The reverse repo rate is 8%. Banks would like to lend money towards RBI instead of lending money into the economy, because RBI itself is offering very high rate of interest, and lending money to RBI is very risk free. So that is the objective behind this reverse repo rate. Okay. The next one is MSF, marginal standing facility. Marginal standing facility. What is this marginal standing facility? It is again one of the extra facility available to banks. Again, RBI can lend money to the banks, or else banks can avail extra funds from RBI through MSF facility. So it is also an interest rate at which RBI can lend money to the banks. So that is called MSF rate. What is the current MSF rate? The current MSF rate is 4.65. 4.65. So, okay. And next one, bank rate. It is also an interest rate at which RBI lends money to banks. So it is also same. Bank rate always same with MSF. Bank rate always same as MSF. That is also 4.65%. So you can observe here, repo rate is an interest rate at which RBI lends money to banks, and MSF is also interest rate at which RBI lends money to banks, and bank rate also an interest rate at which RBI lends money to the banks. Then what is the difference between the repo rate, MSF, bank rate? So the difference is the maturity period for which these banks are borrowing money from RBI. Repo rate is an interest rate for short term, usually 14 days or 91 days. So banks are borrowing money from RBI through repo interest rate for 14 days or 91 days. In that same manner, MSF, banks are borrowing money from RBI only for one night or one day through MSF facility. And bank rate is, banks are borrowing money from RBI through bank rate for long term, usually 365 days, 1 year, okay, more than 1 year. So the maturity period for which the banks are borrowing money from RBI is the only difference between the repo rate, MSF rate and bank rate. So it is all about the monetary policy tools or monetary policy instruments. By using these instruments, RBI easily, or else RBI can control money supply in the economy in order to control inflation and deflation. So that is all about the monetary policy and its instruments. Thank you.